Happy holidays, John. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Whatever you want to say. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's Christmas!
I just wanted to make a couple of videos. Maybe 1, 2, hopefully more than 2. Themed around Christmas. You know, getting me in the Christmas spirit, as if I need to be more in the Christmas spirit. I mean, so yeah, let's get into this one. It's my top 5 favorite Christmas films. Number 5, my 5th favorite Christmas movie of all time, has got to be John Hughes' classic, Home Alone. Chris Columbus directed this movie. John Hughes wrote it. It is, it's a classic for a reason. It's fantastic. It's funny. It's heartfelt. It's an interesting premise that has been done quite a lot now.
Ryan Reynolds is reportedly set to produce and possibly star in a new Home Alone-inspired comedy movie.
I remember being a kid, and it was one of the first instances of, like, crying so hard from laughter. It's just classic physical comedy. So much humor in there. It's one of my favorite writers writing a Christmas movie directed by one of the best, children's family film directors out there. I just love it. But the movies above this, they just have an extra special place in my heart, I think, because of certain reasons. Okay, number 4, this was a recent addition. Like 2 years ago was the first time I saw this movie, which I know is going to make a lot of people angry, but it's just how life works. Sometimes you miss a film. I love the Muppets. I do. It wasn't really a thing when I was a kid growing up in Britain. The Muppets weren't really a huge a phenomenon like they were in America, but we still had the Muppets. We still had movies like Treasure Island. But Christmas Carol I watched like 2 years ago because Reese Peak, my good friend, was like, I can't believe you've never seen Christmas Carol, you've got to watch Muppets Christmas Carol. And obviously Christmas Carol, someone has seen a version of Christmas Carol in your life. So I'd seen like a country western rendition of it, I'd seen like a horror movie version of it. There's a bazillion versions. But so I sat down and I watched this version, and it is just perfect. The songs, the humour.
How would the bookkeepers like to be suddenly unemployed? This is my island in the sun.
The songs, the humour, the fun, the visuals, all that stuff is so exciting and so fun and so charming that by itself it would be a fantastic movie. But the fact that it does the original story so much justice and maybe even improves on some of the emotional moments.
Spirit, I fear you more than any spectre I have yet met.
Michael Caine's performance, he's acting across from puppets, which already is like quite hard. But then to add on top of that he had to act in front of puppets and in front of these crazy giant, costumes that these people were wearing, and still deliver not just a funny, but an emotional performance. It's just astounding. It's fantastic. I think the movie makes me well up all the times I've watched it since. It's quite emotional. It's and the comedy of it, the fun and the fantasy of it, and the oh my god, this is puppets, doesn't detract from how much of a good story it is and how emotional it is, I think. Okay, so number 3, I recently found out this movie is not as beloved as I assumed. Everyone I know in my life, personally, like not in the internet, everyone I know personally loves this movie who I've talked to about it. Maybe there's some secret people that don't like it, but very recently, like a month ago, I looked this up on Rotten Tomatoes. Not that I think Rotten Tomatoes is the be-all and end-all of how good a movie is, but I was just curious to see, what the score was of this movie that I thought was beloved, and it only has a 50-something%. Like, it's split right down the middle. People like it or they hate it. Like, there are people who really dislike this movie, and I think I figured out why. So, my 3rd favorite Christmas movie is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. That's right, this is the Jim Carrey live-action version. I never saw, and I still don't think I have seen, the original Grinch cartoon. The Chuck Jones Grinch cartoon. That, again, this is kind of one of those American Britain things. I don't think most British people, I'd say about 60, maybe 70% of British people probably haven't seen it. It's not as big out here, it's not played on TV at Christmas time. if you want to find it, you can find it. It's not like it's hidden from British people, but I just, personally, I don't remember growing up with that, and I don't think I've spoken to someone who has seen that cartoon. So our, like, exposure to the Grinch was, you know, the book, the Dr. Seuss book, and then the live action movie. And I loved the live action movie. I still love it. It's just so weird and strange.
Oh. That's it, I'm not going.
I think the movie is really good at just throwing Jim Carrey at the audience and letting him do what he does best. I think Jim Carrey's fantastic, and in this movie I think it might be my favorite performance from him, because he just gives everything. I mean, the makeup is insane, not just on the Grinch obviously, but all of the characters. The makeup is just so extensive, and they're able to perform through it, and I love it. I think it's fantastic. I think that the dog is possibly, in this movie, is probably the cutest dog in any movie ever.
Your name is Rudolph. You're a freak with a red nose and nobody likes you. Then one day, Santa picks you and you save Christmas. Now forget that part. We'll improvise.
Number 2's gotta be Elf. Jon Favreau, one of my favorite directors. He's made some stinkers, I will admit. But when it comes to the emotional core, when it comes to a story that is about people, you know? When he's not making cowboys versus aliens. Like, when he's making a story about people, be it Chef, or be it, I mean, Jungle Book, as much as there's not a lot of people in that movie, I still think that comes down to a story about a person, a boy. And Elf, I think, is one of the best examples of that. Elf is such a good movie. It is. Will Ferrell's performance in this film is fantastic. He was born to play a giant kid.
I'm here with my dad, and we never met, and he wants me to sing him a song.
His attitude towards life, you know, the joke being that he's, you know, he almost is more charming and more appealing to people because he hasn't grown up. I think that really resonates with me because I feel like a little bit of a big kid sometimes. He's seen as more of a fun, happy character because he hasn't, you know, got those... I'm just explaining the movie to you now. Just watch the movie, and if you've seen the movie, you understand what I'm trying to say. And number 1, my favourite Christmas movie of all time, the movie that I watch once at the beginning of December and once at the end of December every single year. It doesn't even have to be a Christmas movie. It's a perfect Christmas movie, but even if it wasn't a Christmas movie, it would be one of my favourite films of all time, Love Actually. The tippity top of the crop, it is so good. Sorry about that, my camera stopped. However, point still stands. Love Actually, so good, fantastic. The performances, the stories. I mean, even if this wasn't interwoven, it's just great stories. It's just fantastic. And what I love the most about Love Actually, what I think it makes it the best Christmas film of all time, is the fact that it's not this 100% upbeat. It's not designed from the ground up to make you feel happy and Christmassy like a lot of Christmas films are. It is just a story that talks about every aspect of Christmas. The good bits, the romantic bits, the bits that include friendship, but also the bad bits, the sad bits, the hard, tough bits. It's got uplifting stories. It's got stories that will make you so sad. It's got performances that will make you feel like laughing and crying at the same time. Love Actually, Richard Curtis just completely blows it out of the park. I love his other films. He is a fantastic director, but I don't think he will ever make a movie as good as this. And that sucks that I'm saying that, but it's just the perfect storm. The actors that he's got, the performances, all of the stories, every single individual story in this, pretty much all of them, with aside from maybe one, being just perfect in my opinion. I just think this is such a charming movie. I love it so much. And honestly, if it wasn't for if it wasn't for the what is her name? Is it Keira Knightley and the guy from The Walking Dead? If it wasn't for their story, I really think this movie might be top 5 favorite films of all time. Every time it cuts to that, I'm just like so bored compared to the rest of the film. But yeah, this was way longer than I expected it to be. But I hope you enjoyed hearing what my top 5 favorite films are. If you have your own top 5 list, John, I encourage you to comment below, or even make a video of your own. It could be a Christmas month for Wi-Fi friends. And if you're watching and you want to, comment below, and you can say what your favorite films are. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm right. And yeah, hopefully we can make some more Christmas films this December on Wi-Fi friends. Do you want to say goodbye, Rabbit? Nutmeg? I guess not.